What's up, YouTube Zero here, and today I have an absolutely phenomenal Mega Altaria EX and Mimikyu EX deck in Pokemon TCG Pocket. In this video, I'll go over the deck build that you can see on the left-hand side of the screen. I'll talk about each of these cards individually, and I'll talk about why this deck is absolutely amazing, and you should definitely be checking it out. Before I get into it, I do need to say if you do enjoy this video, definitely give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more Pokemon TCG content. I do a bunch of other video games, so definitely check those out as well. Without further ado, let's talk about the deck. Believe it or not, the first card I want to talk about is Meloetta. Meloetta is absolutely phenomenal for her ability, and her ability is Strange Singing. This is really going to pull this deck together. It's really going to get the cards in your hand that you need. I love her ability. It's Strange Singing. At the beginning of your turn, not the end, but at the beginning of your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you put a random Psychic Pokemon from your deck into your hand. So this can be any Psychic Pokemon that's in your deck. So it could be a second Meloetta, it could be Mimikyu EX, it could be the Mega Altaria EX, or it could be the Indeedee EX that's in this deck. So any one of those can end up from the deck into your hand on the beginning of your turn, thanks to Meloetta's ability. Getting her in the active spot as quickly as possible so you can get all of those Psychic Pokemon into your hand is really going to be able to implement your strategy really quickly. So Meloetta is in this deck, really phenomenal for this deck, really any Psychic deck, but can really get your strategy implemented really quickly. So I do have two of them, and they're going to be in the Fantastical Parade decks that just released not too long ago. Next, let's talk about the two stars of the show. Let's talk about Mimikyu EX and Mega Altaria EX. So Mimikyu EX, also found in the Fantastical Parade packs, has an ability and also a move. I did forget to mention the move for Meloetta. You're really not going to be attacking, but you can if you need to. It is Psyshot. 2 Psychic Energy for 50. I wouldn't waste any of my energy on Meloetta, but if you really need to, she does have a move. But let's go back to Mimikyu, which has Disguise and Claw Slash. Now, Claw Slash for 2 Psychic Energy deals 70 damage, so not too shabby. Where Mimikyu is really nice is Mimikyu's ability, Disguise. When this Pokemon is first damaged by an attack after coming into play, prevent that damage. That's actually really cool because that's one of Mimikyu's abilities in the video game, so it's nice that it translated into a card in Pokemon TCG Pocket, so that's really cool. What's also nice is you can put Mimikyu EX in the active slot, and your opponent is going to have to attack and not damage Mimikyu EX before your opponent is able to damage Mimikyu EX. So that's really awesome, is that you're going to be able to take one hit before your opponent is going to be able to take out your Mimikyu EX. This is going to do a lot. This is going to allow you to set up. You can set up your Mega Altaria on the bench. You can get some damage on your opponent's active Pokemon by hitting with Claw Slash for 70 damage. It's a really nice disguise. This is a pretty fun card to have. Can go in a lot of Psychic decks, but it's really nice because you can put Meloetta in that active slot, start drawing your Psychic cards. Once you build up enough energy on Mimikyu to start attacking, you can start attacking for 70 damage, and then the first bit of damage that you're going to take isn't going to do any damage. It's going to hit the Disguise, get rid of the Disguise, but Mimikyu's not going to take any damage. So that's really awesome, a really great ability to have, and can allow you to set up and get ready for your Mega Altaria, because Mega Altaria is going to be the bread and butter of this deck. You're going to want to get to Mega Altaria so it can be your damage dealer and finish off your opponents. So let's talk about Mega Altaria EX. Now, Mega Altaria EX for 2 Psychic Energy has Mega Harmony. 40 plus damage. This attack does 30 more damage for each of your benched Pokemon. So for just 2 energy, if you have a full bench, Mega Altaria is going to deal 130 damage. So for just 2 energy, you can deal 130 damage. And what's absolutely awesome about this combination is Meloetta was just in the active slot. At least that's the hope and the dream. You're starting with Meloetta in the active slot, pulling all of those psychic cards. So if you even lose one of your psychic Pokemon, you can have another one ready in your hand to put on the playing field, so Mega Altaria can continuously deal 130 damage. However, if you don't have a full bench, if you only have 2 Pokemon on your bench, Mega Altaria is going to deal 100 damage, and if there's only 1 Pokemon on your bench, it will deal only 70 damage. No Pokemon, it's going to deal 40 damage. But you should be able to have a couple of Pokemon in your hand and on your bench, so Mega Altaria can at least deal 100, if not 130. Mega Altaria is going to be found in the Mega Rising Mega Altaria packs, of course. So it's going to be your bread and butter card, it's going to be your damage dealer. The other 2 Pokemon, Meloetta, is going to draw those psychic cards from the deck to your hand, and Mimikyu is going to be a nice setup. It's going to get in that active slot, take some hits, not necessarily damage because it has Disguise, and also deal out some damage as you're building up the energy on Mega Altaria and getting Mega Altaria set up. Next, we're going to have Swablu. You need Swablu because you need to evolve into Mega Altaria. The one I have is the one for 1 colorless energy, saying your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. Putting opponent's Pokemon asleep can really delay your opponent, especially if they can't evolve to get rid of that sleep. They could be hitting a lot of tails, so they can't attack you. So I do like being able to put my opponent's Pokemon to sleep. And Swablu is also going to be found in the Mega Rising Mega Altaria packs. Last but not least, I do have one Indeedee EX. Now, Indeedee EX is great for a couple of reasons. It does have an ability and also an attack. So the ability, Watch Over, once during your turn, you may heal 20 damage from your active Pokemon. So this is going to be nice. It can heal up whichever Pokemon is in that active slot for 20 HP. So that's going to be really nice, especially for Mega Altaria. Remember, Mega cards, if they drop, if your opponent is able to take out your Mega Altaria, you are going to automatically lose the game. So keeping your Mega Altaria alive is going to be extremely important. So Indeedee healing up for that 20 HP is going to be nice, going to be able to keep your Mega Altaria alive a little bit longer. On top of that, it has a move. For 2 energy is Psychic. 30 plus damage. This attack does 30 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So the more energy your opponent has, the more damage you are able to do with Indeedee. Indeedee can actually deal a lot of damage depending on your opponent's active Pokemon. Indeedee is always going to deal 30 damage. However, if your opponent has 3 energy equipped, that's going to be an extra 30 damage per energy. So now you're dealing 120 damage because your opponent has 3 energy equipped. That's really nice amount of damage. Indeedee is a really sneaky good card. It can either heal, it can attack for a lot of damage, it does a lot. So I do like having one Indeedee in this deck. It can really help out, especially healing up your Pokemon. Really great Pokemon to have. This is also going to be found in the Mega Rising Mega Altaria packs. Now let's talk about the item and support cards in this deck, which make it even better. So first, a couple of usuals. The Pokeball, which is going to put a random basic Pokemon from your deck into your hand, and then Professor's Research, where you draw 2 cards. A card that I really love for this deck is going to be the Peculiar Plaza. I do like 2 of these because I want to make sure I'm drawing it and getting it onto the playing field. You really do only need one, but I have two just to make sure it's a little bit easier for me to get it in my hand and onto the playing field. So what it does is the retreat cost of each of your psychic Pokemon in play. This also counts for your opponent, so it's both you and your opponent. The retreat cost is going to be 2 less energy. So every Pokemon in your deck that's a psychic Pokemon, in this deck anyway, is going to have a 0 retreat cost as long as the Peculiar Plaza is on the playing field. So that's going to be great if our Meloetta is in that active slot. We don't have to worry about attaching energy to retreat the Meloetta. If Mimikyu EX is in that active slot, it can take a hit, not take any damage, and then we can retreat it for no energy cost and put out our Mega Altaria if we want our Mega Altaria out there. Or put out a second Mimikyu. That means they're going to have to hit 2 hits in a row. One Mimikyu doesn't do any damage. Then we retreat and put out our other Mimikyu. They hit, doesn't do any damage. Peculiar Plaza is going to be phenomenal for this deck. Not losing energy on a retreat for all of our cards that we're really going to be hitting with. And we're really going to be hitting hard with our Pokemon, our Mimikyu, our Mega Altaria, our Indeedee if really needed. So it's a really great card to have in this deck. Again, I have 2 because I want to make sure I'm drawing it and getting it onto the playing field. This is going to be found in the Fantastical Parade packs. Next, an absolutely phenomenal item card. One that you're probably going to put in a lot of your decks if you haven't already. The Lucky Ice Pop. This is awesome. I have 2 of these. It's a phenomenal card. You heal 20 damage from your active Pokemon. You are guaranteed to heal 20 damage. So if you healed any damage in this way, you flip a coin. If it's heads, you get to put this card back into your hand instead of the discard pile. So if you're having a lucky day, if you're having a lucky game, you can heal up multiple times with just 1 Lucky Ice Pop. So if you're lucky and you get a heads, that can be a 40 HP heal. If you get 2 heads, that could be a 60 HP heal. You can go so on and so forth. You can really rack up the heals. I think I've gotten 80 or 100 HP healed on 1 Lucky Ice Pop. I was just extremely lucky to continue to flip. And of course, if you don't have to heal anymore, it just goes back into your hand and waits for the next time you need to use it. So it's really awesome. Of course, if you hit tails, it goes into the discard pile, which isn't a huge deal, but you do get that 50-50 chance to put it back into your hand so you can use again. And if you combine Lucky Ice Pop with the healing of Indeedee, you can really heal up a significant amount of damage. So it's really awesome. I have 2 in this deck, can really keep all of your Pokemon alive for a really long time. This can really frustrate your opponents because not only do we have Lucky Ice Pop healing up for 20, potentially going back into your hand and healing up for 20 more, we have Indeedee healing for 20. Every turn our active Pokemon has some damage on it, we can heal up for 20. We have Mimikyu that doesn't take damage on the first hit from an attack from our opponent, which is really awesome. And then we're going to go into one of our supporter cards that heals as well, Diantha. Diantha, you heal 90 damage from one of your psychic Pokemon that has 2 or more psychic energy attached. If you healed any damage in this way, you discard 2 psychic energy from this Pokemon. So Diantha can heal up 90 damage from one of our Pokemon, which is insanely awesome. It's going to be able to heal up 90 damage, combined with the Ice Pops, combined with Indeedee, combined with our Mimikyus that have Disguise. We're really going to be frustrating our opponents. They're going to be really struggling to take out our Pokemon. We're going to be healing up. We're going to be blocking attacks thanks to Mimikyu's Disguise. We're going to be really doing a lot of defense here while still hitting for a significant amount of damage with Mega Altaria and perhaps Indeedee as well. Mimikyu can hit for a decent amount of damage, not a lot, but we're still hitting for damage while we're not taking any. So we have a lot of nice tricks up our sleeve in this deck. What's also nice is you can combine Diantha with that Peculiar Plaza. So even though Diantha is going to cost us 2 energy to heal up for 90 HP, if we have that Peculiar Plaza on the field, and like I said, that's why I like having 2, so I can get it out immediately and have no retreat cost on any of the Psychic Pokemon in this deck, I can heal up for 2, lose those energy, and still retreat. Not have to worry about leaving my Pokemon in that active slot to take damage because I have the Peculiar Plaza getting rid of those retreat costs. So it's really nice. A good combination with Diantha and Peculiar Plaza. Last but not least, one of my favorite cards, Sabrina. Sabrina is an absolutely phenomenal card. It's great to have in any deck. I recommend it in any deck because it can really throw off your opponent's strategy. So, Sabrina, for those of you who may be new to Pokemon TCG Pocket, what she does, you switch out your opponent's active Pokemon to the bench. Your opponent does get to choose the new active Pokemon, but it can really mess up your opponent. If your opponent has all his or her energy on the active Pokemon, you could be forcing a Pokemon with no energy into that active slot. A Pokemon your opponent may not want in that active slot. Could be a Pokemon with a high retreat cost that he or she may not be able to retreat. Could just be a Pokemon your opponent doesn't want you to be attacking. Or could be a Pokemon that has an item on it that you don't want to deal with in that active slot, so you're pushing it out of the active slot. A lot of reasons to utilize Sabrina, but she comes in handy in almost every game. So I love Sabrina. It's really great to throw off your opponent's strategy. It's really nice for this deck. I love Sabrina. And Sabrina is going to be found in the Genetic Apex Charizard packs, as well as the Deluxe Packs EX. So a great card to have. I absolutely love her for this deck. That's the deck. This is an absolutely phenomenal deck. I love this deck. I love these card combinations because it can do so much. Mega Altaria EX is going to be the damage dealer of this deck. Indeedee can also provide a lot of damage as well, depending upon your opponent, how much energy your opponent needs to equip on their active Pokemon. Indeedee can do a lot of damage as well. On top of that, this deck can draw the cards you need really quickly, especially thanks to Meloetta. Meloetta gets to draw those Psychic cards, getting them in your hand, also allowing you to build up your bench for Mega Altaria. Getting Mega Altaria set up as quickly as possible is awesome. Mimikyu, as well as some of the other cards, Lucky Ice Pop, Diantha, and Indeedee really help defensively, not taking damage or healing up damage as you are taking it, which is really going to frustrate opponents. Peculiar Plaza is great to get rid of the retreat cost of every Psychic Pokemon in this deck because it lessens the retreat cost by 2. There is no Psychic Pokemon in this deck that has a retreat cost of more than 2, so Peculiar Plaza is going to be phenomenal for this deck. Then, of course, Sabrina going to be able to mess up your opponent's strategy, and Professor's Research and Pokeball drawing those cards a little bit quicker out of your deck. I absolutely love this deck, but let me know in the comments section what you think of this deck, what you think of this combination. Do you utilize Mega Altaria combined with Mimikyu and Indeedee and Meloetta? Is there another Pokemon or type of card that you would have in this deck or would move out of this deck to make it even better? Let me know in the comments section. I'm interested to hear what you would change about this deck. Let's talk anything Pokemon TCG Pocket in the comments section. Thanks for sticking around. Definitely hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. It does really help out me and my channel. Thank you so much in advance for doing so. And until next time, peace.